inquire. You know, this is a perfect example why this city, the days of a mayor being an effective leader in this city are over. You need a city manager. And when they redid the charter, they had the chance to write that in, but they wouldn't do it because they didn't want to relinquish that power, because they all have delusions of grandeur in their own hands as far as advancing their own political careers. So they weren't about to do that. You just don't have the talent in this city anymore. That you do have the talent. They don't want any part of it. And all you're getting are these bozos that want to advance their own career and make a lot of money as they go along. They're not doing it. They're not going into city politics to help the city. I mean, the days of, like, Mayor Talbot, who was a registered pharmacist who did his term and got out and went back to his own business, are over. It's a different philosophy altogether, and you're never going to pull the city out of the pits until you get somebody like that, and it has to be done with a good city manager.
Yeah, we don't got to wonder what to talk about this morning, right? Get another caller. I'm going to let the people run it. You're on the air with Mark Dion. Talk to me.
The thing that's tragic too is that he was sort of seen or perceived as the new style politician, you know, college educated, young, full of good ideas basically, you know, and a go-getter and on and on and on, you know. So, you know, what difference does it make if you elect somebody, like you said, with a brown bag and a broken nose, or somebody that is, you know, graduated from Providence College?
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing, brother?
I am not under indictment. You?
No.
All right.
But feel sorry for you guys, that's for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't make us look too good here in Fall River, no?
Oh, the citizens. I just come to this conclusion. It's dysfunctional politics in the city of Fall River.
Yeah, that and the fact that the guy seems to be a dirty little thief.
Yeah, that too. I mean, you know, Sam couldn't speak right. Sam raised your, $10 fee. Sam, it's unbelievable. It is.
Yeah.
But, the trolls of the internet, those, this is our man right there.
Oh, sure enough.
Yeah, so, I don't know. It's awful, that's for sure. And hopefully he does the right thing. Who am I to speak? But some of those indictments recently, or charges, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, gosh.
Allegations. He's innocent until proven guilty. Exactly. So everybody said it was coming. Like I said, if I had the FBI knocking on my door, I don't know if I would answer the door, but... You know what I'm saying? It's just folks told you. Folks said it. And it was it's been a little while, so good luck to you folks.
All right, you too, pal.
Yep.
But like I said, I was never a fan of him when he broke up the Teamsters, and no love lost here. I could care less. I hope he goes to jail just like Cianci did if he's guilty.
There you go.
First of all, we need to come together as a city. Our elected officials all need to get on the same page. We need to be strong at this time because this is not an easy thing to swallow here with what's been happening. But nevertheless, we need to support our current elected officials, Cliff Pond, Pamela Liberty LeBeau, and all the rest that are on board here. And we need to come together as a community and see this thing through. We have a lot of things going on in our city. We have these streetscapes that need to be finished, and we need to stay focused on the services at hand to the residents and let this weather through and all come together. Nevertheless, it's a very unfortunate situation. I commend WSAR for being on top of this all the time.
Thanks.
And hopefully that the public will, support our current elected officials to make sure that this is an easy transition. If I was still on the council myself, I'd be asking the mayor to resign ASAP without even thinking about it. And I would hope that Cliff Pond holds a meeting an executive meeting with the city councilors and put their minds together on where we're going to go as a city and how things are going to be handled. So with that being said, just all the listeners out there, we need to come together as a city because we do not look very good in the eyes of the state or anywhere else throughout the country because this is going to be headline news. So I wish everybody well, and I want to...
All right, I'm going to hold you there.
Yeah, good morning, Mark. Not a good morning for the city at all.
You think?
Yeah. I was and am a Jizzle supporter. Is this fixable? I can only hope so. The only thing I can compare it to, and you might not like the comparison, is Buddy Cianci. Now, we all know Buddy stole, and
yep.
But Buddy Cianci made Providence what it is today. Without Buddy, there'd be no Providence as it stands as we speak. Am I saying what Buddy did was right? No, most certainly it wasn't right, and Buddy went to jail for it. What Jazel did, that's eventually it's all going to come to light. Yeah, it's going to go to court. And is it defendable?
You better hope so.
I don't know. I hope it is. Is it going to hurt him? Well, it already has.
I was going to say, it's hurt him already.
Yeah. Can he get out of it? One can get out of anything if they've got a good legal defense. Cliff Ponte is now acting mayor. Cliff Ponte always had aspirations to be mayor. Will Linda get back in the race? Many names are out there right now thinking, will they run? I can only wish the best for our mayor. Thank you, Mark.
How you doing, Mr. Flanagan? Not too bad. So I've asked it before. I'm going to ask it again.
Okay.
I've been listening to local radio for about 5 years now. I had the job where I was driving around a lot, and, satellite gets boring after a while. You start changing channels. Before you know it, you end up addicted to AM radio.
Of course.
And for the last bunch of years, WSAR has just been the greatest show on earth. And I'm not kidding when I say, when is the book coming out? Why isn't Fall River securing the rights to the movie? Honestly, this is something you have to embrace at this point. Nothing's going to change it. And honestly, I am dead serious. If the city of Fall River can get some piece of the rights to this story, that when it hits Hollywood, it's going to make a lot of money. It's going to pay off a lot of city bills.
The final chapter is not written.
I'm just curious as to what your thoughts are on that. You have a wonderful afternoon.
Hey, thank you very much. I don't think the final chapter of this saga has been written yet. I think it's a little too early to get the cameras out and to write the script. I think we still got a few more chapters of this story to go.
I really think the man needs to step aside.
Okay.
Because I'm sorry, I read the unsealed document.
Okay.
The indictment charges, and I'm sorry, this kid's going to do a minimum, even if he cut a plea deal, of a minimum. He's going to be sentenced to a minimum of at least 5 years.
I think you're accurate.
Get out in good behavior in 3 and on probation for a while. So he'll smirk a grin here, or he'll do something there, or let's face it. I mean, that's how the kid got through his whole life, was by conning people. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, he's a con artist,
Okay.
He conned the voters, he conned the investors, he just cons people all his life. Friends, relatives and stuff like that. But I really think if he truly cared about the city, as he said he did in that press release, then he should step aside, take care of his legal issues, look at what the feds have on him. Seriously. And the investigation is still ongoing.
Yes.
I mean, we still haven't heard from HUD. I'm sure they're still investigating his associates involved in Snow Owl. Whoever his vice president was, and and other people that worked in that office.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm sorry. No, I don't buy it. I don't care if the entire city voted for the kid the last election. 100% voted for him.
Okay.
He needs to move aside because this is serious. This isn't just, you know, oh, I'm going to go see Tom Hoskins for a little while and get free hots in a car in a 9x13 cell.
No.
This is big time.
Yeah.
Listen, since last Thursday, I have heard nothing but vitriol and anger. And I'm glad public lynchings are no longer legal because, you know, everybody has a right to go through the process.
Okay.
And then if he's found guilty, he's going to pay for it. You know, he's going to pay for it. But the anger I hear toward the family, they have nothing to
Why are
do
people
with.
so angry, you think?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What they say, it's a black mark on Fall River. This is a black mark on Jazel. And it's not even his family. I mean, I'm sure right now they're suffering, and Jazel is too, but he should pay for whatever he's done. Don't get me wrong. But the anger I hear, and there's no, like, I just want to sit back and watch the process and see where all this goes.
Sure.
And if he's guilty, then he should pay for that.
The lady, I believe, just before me, relative to why do you think people are so angry?
Yes.
Personally, I think it has one word, or it is one word really, and it goes back to when he first ran, and I think that word was transparency.
Okay.
He made an awful lot of that one word when he was running and also running the second time. I think, quite frankly, he's accused of, and I only say accused, but he's accused of doing everything that is quite untransparent, to be honest with you.
Fraud.
I don't understand how the man was able to keep his eye on the ball relative to the sixth floor and the running of the city while he was alleged to have done what he was doing, supposedly.
I just wanted to speak about the recent indictment of Mayor Correia and the rally being held at 4 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay.
I believe part of the anger that's going around is that Mayor Correia has turned Fall River into a national disgrace. I'm sure you've seen the articles from every national news outlet and even international news outlets such as the Daily Mail, Malaysia Mail. So I believe that pertains to part of the anger is how Fall River is looked upon now. And this is probably one of the biggest stories that's hit Fall River probably in the last 10 years, if you'd agree. If I were the mayor facing 13 federal indictments, yes, I would step down right now.
Okay. And why would you?
As callers stated before, in my own opinion, it would be hard to do business, like working with Boston. How would we be able to do economic development with business owners that want to come into the city to spur economic development? How are we going to be able to get grants and other bonds from Boston? And it really, and press-wise, it really makes the city look bad that a mayor says it's not smiling, going out of court, saying it's not his best Thursday. I believe that was bad press by the mayor to say that.
Okay.
Because this isn't really a funny moment. This is really serious, and he should take this more seriously.
Okay. As you said, the rally's tomorrow at 4. Will you be attending, and what are you hoping to accomplish with this rally?
I was actually the one who's I was one of the original founders of this rally.
Okay.
The part of the rally is for the mayor to see himself, all the community come together and support something that we believe in. And this isn't something like I'm happy to attend. This is a very somber moment. This is something that we have to do, not something we want to do. And we're hoping to also get a few councilors to sway their votes to vote for activating Section 3-8 of the Charter.
Now, after the rally, will you all be going into Government Center, or are you going to leave at that point?
Oh, no. We made the rally from 4 to 5 specifically so people would have enough time to get into City Hall to attend the rally.
Honestly, what I'd like to know from you is, unfortunately, you have this experience, and you're the only person I know who does, so please forgive me asking this question, if you could.
Go ahead.
How do we start a recall?
Well, you have to go, I believe, unless the process has changed, you go to the city clerk, and you got to file with the clerk a statement for recall. And you got to put the reasons why you're looking for a recall, and then you have to sign them under the pains and penalties of perjury. So you have to file an affidavit. And it could be 10 signatures, but you probably want to get more than that because sometimes a signature or two could be bad. So you get as many signatures as possible. You sign them maybe individually or maybe as a total under the pains and penalties of perjury, and that starts the process. That kicks off the clock. And then you have the Herculean task of getting all of the signatures needed to hold a recall election.
Okay. Well, I'm just thinking that while there are people who could buy cigarettes, tattoos, giant gulps of coffee to sit in city council and complain about the fact that they had to buy a trash bag, and that was enough to get you removed.
Okay.
I'm certainly thinking that someone who is under a federal indictment and has brought shame across this entire city from here to San Francisco, this should be a whole lot easier, don't you think?
Well, I would not want to be Jazel Correia. I'll leave it at that.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't want to be under Jazel Correia's governance any longer. I don't like to be told what to do by someone who isn't capable of following their own damn rules.
Okay.
So I am going to say on record that this is time. We need to get together, the investors of Fall River, people who own property here and have a whole lot to lose. We need to get together and get rid of this kid.
Well, let me ask you this. You sound educated. You sound coherent. You go to start the recall process?
I absolutely will. I have a few people to get in touch with because I do work for a living. I'm one of those people.
Okay.
I actually work for a living.
All right.
So what I'm going to do is find someone who has some time, maybe on a lunch break, to pop on over and get that affidavit.
Are you a homeowner in the city?
I am. I own multiple properties in the city.
All right. Okay.
So I am very much invested in this city, and I intend to stay here.
Okay.
I've been here for 50 years, and I'll be damned if I'll watch this petulant little child take off with the property values that I've worked so hard for.
So if he doesn't step down, a recall is forthcoming.
Oh, I guarantee you. I promised Jazel Correia there is a recall coming.
Okay. All right.
I promised him. And I will also say this. I don't care if it is just a matter of process, and they're saying the process may not hold. I will be at City Council for the meeting for the vote. And any counselor who does not vote to remove this creature out of our midst, I will not be voting for them. And I will ask everyone I know to pay close attention because everybody forgets. So next September, when everybody's running around in the primary, I might have new signs up on my front lawn. And instead of saying vote for, they will all be anti-votes, vote against.
Very
and
good.
It'll be any counselor who is not willing to vote this person out of our government. He is destroying us. When Charlie Baker takes the time out of his busy day to pay attention to Fall River, which is mostly forgotten, to take the time just to say, you need to step aside, we're in trouble.
Caller.
I'm worried, Will. What are the chances that any of the contracts we have with the state right now could be revoked?
You know, I'm not from Fall River. I grew up in Fall River. So this hurts. It hurts the whole community, not just Fall River.
Yeah.
Surrounding towns.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I think part of the problem, and you're an attorney, you're a good defense attorney, you're a good attorney.
Thank you.
I don't understand why his defense team, hear me out, took him out that front door.
I'm hearing you.
And if that were in fact, okay, we're going to go out the front door, why didn't they tell him to put a zipper on it? You don't go out there, innocent or not, and say these charges are bogus.
Yeah.
You're slapping the FBI in the face.
Yeah.
Don't, let sleeping dogs lie.
You don't tug on Superman's cape, right?
No, you just be quiet, no comment, and leave.
But he's in a difficult situation because he's the mayor and he wants to be the mayor. And he wants to tell his people it's okay.
Can I add this? And you correct me if I'm wrong in this opinion. You know what they say about opinions. Everyone's got one. Some of them stink. He's a millennium, correct?
Yes, yeah.
My dealings with millenniums, I'm 70 years old. I'm not an expert. I'm not always correct.
Yeah.
I've made mistakes. They always think they're right.
Yep.
and they don't like constructive criticism. And when they enter the job market, they want to start at the top.
Yeah, they want to be the CEO.
That's right. Maybe I shouldn't be. He's a millennium, and he has that attitude. I'm right. Everyone else is wrong.
Caller, thanks for the call.
You have a good one.
And caller makes a good point.
He's a beautiful person. But he wasn't thinking about his mom and his dad. He wasn't thinking about the city when he was doing this.
Oh, you're right. I agree.
You know?
Yeah, it was greed that if he's found guilty of this, it was because of greed.
Granted, it's his parents. He wasn't feeling bad when he was doing it, or wasn't thinking when he was doing it, right? You would say it's greed. Greed, money does funny things to people. But it's, I like his parents. It's got nothing to do with his parents.
Okay, I hang on a minute.
To him.
I hope you don't think when he did this that he went home and told his parents. I hope you don't think that.
I know that.
Well, he's an adult. That's why I made the comment. He's an adult. He's responsible, not the parents. You have to feel sorry for the parents.
The other thing is, I called up earlier, and I mentioned, about Mayor Flanagan, the situation, the recall, about the President Mayor's credibility, and what went down and caused the recall. The bottom line is, I'm not so sure about his credibility any longer, and what happened to Mayor Flanagan. But the bottom line is,
it's a good statement.
If he had political aspirations and he wanted to become mayor, he would be more apt to exaggerate a situation or put it into a negative type of situation. And indirectly, he did cost the city a form of money, if this is true, because he cost the city the money for a recall that would have been needless to have had. I know, but the trouble is when you badmouth somebody and try to badmouth their reputation, it stays out there. It's always in the back of people's minds, and it's a shame if indeed the person was totally innocent in it. Well, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things he has to continuously live with needlessly. But again, across the board, as we'd say, you're innocent until proven guilty, and we'll see how this all shakes out in the end.
Hi, Mr. Mitchell. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Mr. Mitchell, just to reflect on the last call, it's sometimes when you go to vote and you see things like this constantly happen, you think about organized crime and how the mafia works. And it's like constantly, though, in the news. And as a voter, you get so discouraged because you put your heart and your faith. I voted for this person, and I voted for him twice. And you put your heart into it, and everything, and you hear these things. It's like, is the next guy going to be the same thing?
Good afternoon. You're live on WSAR.
Hey, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm well. Let's just take a look at this.
All right.
It's all about the money. Okay? Now,
I was wondering when somebody was going to get to that.
We don't want to recall him. One says it's $60,000 to have a recall.
No, I think it's $25,000.
Okay, whatever. Okay. Right. Now, if he steps aside, he's still the mayor.
Right.
Now, and they said let it play out.
Right.
Okay. How long do you think the trial's going to last?
Well, it's got to be a year or more.
Okay, then we're still paying the mayor because he stepped aside. He's not doing anything, but we're paying him. So is it cheaper to have the recall or to let it play out and let him step aside? Which is cheaper?
Good point.
Well, I mean, it's just something you have to think about.
Well, and my question is, what price do you want to put on democracy?
That's right. And the other thing is, I don't know this to be a fact, Wayne, only what I've heard and read, that the judge said he had to have a job.
I didn't read that. So
see, I don't know. That these are little things that are being tossed around. So, but in my opinion, if you want the cheapest way out, you would have to have a recall.
All right, my friend. Thanks for the call.
All right.
But like I'm saying, Wayne, I mean, a legitimate business team coming in, knowing that he's accused of fraud and all this other stuff. Any legitimate businessman or a team of a company coming in is not they're not going to want to have any discussions with the mayor because he loses all credibility. That's the point.
Hi, Wayne.
Hello.
Yes, hi, Wayne.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Wayne, the average federal case is 99.5% accurate as far as jail time.
99.5%.
99.5%.
So
You
basically,
get charged
they don't usually indict anyone that is found completely innocent.
That is correct. I mean, those figures, those percentages are staggering. And it's jail time. Usually when it's federal like that, it's jail time.
And in Buddy Cianci's case, I believe there were 9 counts, and he was guilty of 1 and ended up spending 5 years in federal prison.
That is correct.
This guy's duck soup.
I feel badly for the majority of folks, and I think I can say this honestly. A majority of the folks in the south end of the city saw a fellow who pulled himself up, a minority who pulled himself up by his bootstraps and got to the highest office in the city. And they were very proud of that, and, well, they should have been. But I tend to think there's just a sadness. There's a sadness in this city today since everything that happened. And I think that's what people are trying to get over.
A lot of people, majority of the people weren't happy with the selectmen that were in there.
Yep.
So you waited till they came up and you got them out. I mean, Will Flanagan was the first recall ever in the city of Fall River. People need to think about it. I mean, every time you don't like something, you're going to have a recall. Nobody ever stays in office long enough to do anything. There's so many things going on that are getting ignored. I mean, by the time this gets resolved, he's only going to have like a few months left to go. I mean, the people are not going out to vote, and now they're losing their vote to a group of people that go and have a recall, and the people that go to the vote are the ones that want to get them out. So it just seems like a vicious circle.
Oh, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So kind of unique, I guess, in the fact that I was, part of the recall of Mayor Flanagan.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, I don't know if these people, the ones that are trying to mount a recall against Hazel, are going to be successful. I think they have a tougher road to hoe than we did.
Do you? Why?
Because the rules have changed in the charter. They got to get 5% of the voters, not the 5% of the last turnout.
Right.
In the charter, it says 5% of the voters, so that's all the registered voters in the city, and they got to get them people to sign. They have to have at least that many certified signatures. And to get, I don't know, say if it's 50,000 registered voters in Fall River, and they need 5%, that's 2,500. In order to get 2,500 certified signatures, you need to get at least 3,500 signatures.
Let me ask you a question. Are you sorry you recalled Flanagan?
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
Why?
Not even a little bit, because he was a shady character doing things that shouldn't be done in office, mind you. Now, the thing Jazel is accused of doing, and we don't know, we don't have the information, right? But that was before he ever got elected. And during the last election, it was kind of out there. I believe it was Linda was trying to make an issue out of the investigation. So
for the most part,
and people elected him anyway.
For the most part, it was pretty common knowledge that there was something going on.
Right, and like I said, they elected him anyway. But to say, like, he can't do his job, there's other mayors and other officials who have been under indictment and done their job just fine. There are people that go to court every day. Well, obviously they're not in court every day, but they go to work every day, and they have court cases going on. So I don't understand why it would be so much more difficult for this one individual to do what he has to do on a daily basis. And a large part of his job is to delegate.
If the recall was held tomorrow, would you vote to recall him?
Would I?
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, if it was held tomorrow, maybe. Even if they get it done by say May, we're going to have another election in November. So you're going to have a similar situation as to what happened before. You're going to have this part-time, short-time mayor.
Yeah.
They're going to be on another battle. to try to get elected. It's going to be a really short campaign because the election is in November.
So you think that the city council route is a better route by temporarily removing him? Okay.
But I don't know, because I listened to what Torres was saying yesterday, and I don't know. I don't know if I agree with him. I think I agree with Jeff Macy.
But it's just mind-boggling where you have two legal professionals, and Steve Torres is a very, very good attorney, and Joe Macy obviously is an outstanding attorney as well. And they're on such ends of the rainbow. It's just mind-boggling for the average guy.
Hey, I listened to that former attorney this morning or earlier today, and he specifically said, "in my opinion."
Right.
So it's not true. It's not a yes. It's his opinion.
Well, Joe,
you can get 50 different people, and it's always going to be of their opinion.
But I find it where you have two attorneys. They're both high-powered attorneys, and they're both taking both ends of the spectrum. So it's so vague. We as voters, what should we be thinking?
So now we should get a third attorney. We had an attorney on the board for the charter.
Yeah.
Now he was right there. Yep. Possibly that gentleman could shed some light on it.
Well, I think
Mr. Mayoza.
I think what's going to end up happening is the city, if in fact this turns out the way I think it will, it'll end up in Superior Court for some type of injunction, and people will be going back and forth, and that will be it.
For 18 years, I served as a city councilor. And any time I took a vote on anything that was in front of me, I always made sure there was no conflict of interest. The fact is, conflict of interest means you gain something out by voting one way or another. Well, I always made sure, because I would never have taken a vote if there was something in it for me. And yet I see in front of us there might be a vote taken tonight, and to me, it rings out to me there could be a conflict of interest. Because if right now I was sitting as president of this council and I voted on making the mayor be removed from his position until all the facts were out, then I would have a gain. And the gain would be I'd be acting mayor for the rest of the time. So to me, that's a gain. And that is a situation, conflict of interest. And I thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I've been sitting here tonight listening about we need to get the facts and about interpretations of the charter, neither of which is what we're here for. We're here to determine if the mayor can continue being the mayor with these charges hanging over his head. The facts will be determined. The facts of this case will be determined by a judge. Everything we have is opinions. If you wait for that, we're going to have to wait till the end of the trial. What you have here before you is a charter that allows you to take a vote to determine if he is able to perform the duties. And remember, and I heard one of my brother veterans talk about this country. Nobody is saying he is guilty. He has a constitutional right to due process, and he also has the presumption of innocence. But being the mayor of a city is different. That is one of the few jobs where perception is as important as performance. Can a DA that's charged with murder continue to be a district attorney? Can someone who runs a daycare center who's charged with child molestation continue in that position? Perception. The perception of Fall River is already damaged in many, many areas.
There's a million rules. The charter review took a year. There's a million rules for like peons like me. I get warnings about how I recycle my pizza boxes, and you're going to tell me that you can steal like $250,000 and the kid he's forced to receive a paycheck from the city. That's why government is corrupt. Democracy is kind of a joke, especially in Fall River, right? So he's a thief, and it's a wicked embarrassment for the city.
But this kind of got to me. This newspaper pictures of 5 of the members of the council who had already convicted someone. He is innocent until he is proven guilty. I don't care what you think. I'm a Republican. I did vote for him. I wanted to give him 1 year's chance to see what he was going to do, whether he's going to do it, keep his promises or not.
Thank you.
Until he is convicted.
Thank you very much.
Then he should be left in office.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have found out differently since.
Yeah, why did you vote? Why did you vote for him back then?
Because I thought we needed somebody new. I thought, being as young as he was, that he could fight for us. He is not. He's fighting for himself. In my eyes, he's a mini Trump.
I have not given up on this recall effort. Language needs to be changed. It will be changed. We have 10 people who are willing to sign this petition and rewrite this petition 10 times over if we must. It is our greatest hope that the mayor will step aside and make way for his city to heal from this. It is not about guilty. It is not about innocent. It is simply about the fact that our city's name is mud. And it's not only within our area, it's now reached across the country and outside of our country. Every one of you is here because you wanted to represent this city. It is your job to defend this city. I don't want to hear about charters. I don't want to hear about lawsuits. We need you to step up and save this city from this fiasco. What I'm asking is that all of you find a way to do this, because we're your constituents. We're not supposed to fight to right the government. The government is supposed to be self-righting, and you're not. And I don't understand what the full holdup is. I believe that we do deserve to hear your opinions, and they should be loud. We need to hear your voices. We need to hear you, that you want to save this city from this embarrassment so that we can move forward. I've supported many of you, and I want to continue to do that. Please make me feel like I can still do that.